What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I'm going to make it quick and simple. Where's Lucid going from here and what the data points are saying. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So Lucid did go down almost about 12% during the day. After hours, it's continuing to go down 1.25%. Intraday low around $8.10. In my opinion, even though the earnings were fairly bad and did signal that 2023, at least majority of which is going to be bad, I did think that this was a little bit more of an overreaction. So I did actually decide to add to my position at $8.30. So not too much, only I believe it was around 400 shares, but I immediately did do a covered call for $9 expiring tomorrow, just to collect some additional premium. But I think also one factor why it went down as much as it did was because of shorts. So shorts did in fact increase 5.42 million shares today, because they clearly heard the conference call. They clearly heard that there was a lack of demand and clearly Peter's just inability to manage. So once again, that's just my own interpretation, who is not a financial advisor. In general, though, it's kind of funny to see people on stock forums just still continue to say that Lucid is going to have a squeeze, which I do completely agree. Months ago, Lucid could have had a good squeeze. If in general, though, there was going to be a surprise catalyst, because in order for you to have a squeeze, you do need several different things. You need a fairly high cost to borrow, fairly high utilization rate, a lot of shares being shorted. But one thing that Lucid has always really missed out on is a good surprise catalyst. So in general, I think Lucid right now is not going to squeeze, especially with those earnings. If anything, shorts are going to double down, and as well, analysts seem to be very much hating on Lucid, which of course, rightfully so to some regard. So I did actually do a video almost about 3 days ago as well. It is kind of sad to see, but a lot of the actual bullish analysts on Lucid very much just got disappointed during the earnings. More specifically, the top three right here. So James Picario, John Murphy, and also Chris McNally. So when it comes down to those three, they kept hounding Peter on the actual 2023 production targets and the whole bottleneck issue potentially, even though he was saying that there was no bottleneck. And I really do value, for instance, analysts such as John Murphy. Even though Bank of America typically does really like Lucid, he kept saying, well, Peter, if you are saying that there is no actual bottleneck and you are free to produce as many vehicles as you like, why are you only doing between 10 to 14,000 for production? And unfortunately, Peter just stuttered quite a lot and didn't really answer. So I think in general, my own thoughts on this, Peter just needs to go get in a new CEO, put Peter in a tech role or something like that. But in general, James Picario, who did have a $45 target on Lucid, completely removed it, downgraded it. John Murphy, new target of $10, previously was $22. Chris McNally did downgrade to $8 as well. Andre Shepard, $13. Oddly enough, a lot of people are posting about this. Andre Shepard's, who is a $13 price target with Cantor Fitzgerald, but his success rating is only 24%. So it's kind of funny to see a lot of people just either on StockTwits or Twitter just grasping at straws. Like, you guys need to really acknowledge when there is a red flag. Don't just completely just blanket it and say, well, it's a long-term investment now. In general, it's always been a long-term investment. Like, they need to show improvement, and based on this, they're actually going down. If anything, as I've been saying, the Air Grand Touring for a while now has been a big fail. But regardless of all of that, though, as you can tell based on the options activity, there is still a lot of calls being purchased. But of course, it is getting a little bit more mixed. Over the last several weeks, there's been a lot more calls being purchased, insinuating upside was anticipated. But as you can see based on today, it was a lot more puts being purchased. So once again, I think people are kind of mixed on the overall earnings. They do know that Lucid has an amazing product, which of course they did say in their earnings, but they're very worried about the demand. And of course, like I said, rightfully so. When it comes down to the big money buying, there was some pretty big transactions. So of course, some big money was taking advantage of the discounted prices. As you can see, 1.32 million, 1.06, 9.39 million, and also right here at the very beginning of the market, 5.29 million. So of course, there was some big money buying behind the scenes, but I myself, I'm a very big fan of the technicals. So what the technicals are saying right now, stochastic, even though it is 18 very much oversold, there is that bearish sentiment that is forming. Number of retail investors have just been getting out of Lucid ever since January the 27th, which of course that rumor did come out about the PIF wanting to take Lucid private. That was actually addressed though during the conference call, and it does look like that is a no. But on the actual chart though, where is Lucid going? That's what a lot of people want to know. So where's Lucid going? As of today though, it is officially below that 50-day moving average. And for those of you that have been in Lucid for a while now, you know I've been saying that that 50-day moving average is basically a very big problem for Lucid, as it always has been. So other than here, and I believe in July, that did happen in 2022 right here, it actually hasn't gone over that 50-day moving average since November of 2021, when of course everything was rallying. So I think at the end of the day though, Lucid might be on a little bit more of a downtrend, potentially to around the $7 range. Of course, down here is just going to be following the psychological levels at this stage. Over and above that, just also the Fibonacci level. So I'll give you a quick summary of that. And right now, so currently $8.79, it is trading between the S1 and the pivot. So in general, it's actually not doing too bad. The pivot point you really do need to watch for is $7.39. If it does break below that, then it might be range bound between around the $4.62 and the $7.39. But of course, as you can see right up here, just the summary is a very strong sell and everything else. So I think in general, there might be a little bit more pain potentially in Lucid's future, in the short term at least, until they start to really get their stuff together. And based on what they said, it most likely will be starting off in Q2. And based on as well, like I've been saying during the live stream and everything else, most likely will be also when they are starting to dilute. Because of course, based on their earnings, they did say that they have enough cash up until Q1 of 2024. So it is fair to assume Q2 or Q3 of 2023 is when they will start to dilute. But once again, I am not a financial advisor. I really do like Lucid. Their product is clearly the absolute best out there. Peter did say that, far and many years ahead of even Tesla. But at the end of the day, it needs demand. So they really need to start on the pure, plain and simple. But of course, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my Lucid content, want to support the channel, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.